Perfect, so we're going to go over here and defeat this. Awesome, there we go, so there's the second one killed. So hey guys, welcome back to iCraftMC's World. In this episode of our amazing Let's Play, we're going to be finally going to an ocean monument and defeating the Guardians, the Elder Guardians, and going to get ourselves a Guardian Temple farm. But before we do that, we're going to make today's banner of the day. Today's banner starts with a white banner and brown dye in the brown cross shape. The next thing we're going to do is the light blue fess, which is this shape right here. Then we're going to go on to the white chief, which is this shape right here. Then we're going to go on to the white border indented, which is this shape right here. Then we're going to get ourselves the thing charge, which is made with an enchanted golden apple and a piece of paper, and apply that pattern to the banner. And you can see what it makes. It makes a broken pickaxe banner. I thought this is a really unique banner and just something that is quite interesting, a broken pickaxe. I thought quite a unique concept there. And I think it really fits well with all the other cool banners we have in our banner park here. So there is the broken pickaxe banner. I thought that was super cool. Anyway, so we have a bunch of stuff we need to defeat the Guardian Temple / Ocean Monument. And of course, we first have to find a Guardian Temple and Ocean Monument. So the only one I actually know of that's within any realistic distance is actually about 1,000 blocks north of the spawn point of our world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab ourselves some fireworks here real quick, if I can actually find the crafting materials. And we're going to travel through the nether there. So what I'll probably do is I'll get the materials for the fireworks here, and I'll see you over at my old starter house. And just like that, here we are, and I have some fireworks. This place really brings back the memories, but we're not really here to enjoy that. We're here to go northwest, because that is where the Guardian Temple is. Now once we get over here, we're going to basically just get ourselves a safe position to look at it and kind of plan out what we're going to do before we instantly get mining fatigue. But it should be over here a Guardian Temple. I did reset a lot when I went from 1.16 to 1.17, so there probably will be new chunks around here, but the Guardian Temple will hopefully stay the same. So just heading basically over here, should be about 1,000 blocks this way. Let's see if we can get to it just over here. Nice terrain around it really, but it is funny that they have the icebergs right next to the mesa biome. I do find that kind of humorous and ironic. Since obviously the mesa biome should have really nothing to do with the ocean, really. So, I wonder if we've really gotten there yet. I think we're getting pretty close here. Looks like we're about 1,000 blocks away from spawn. So hopefully we can find one of these amazing ocean monuments in range. And I don't see it yet. So what I'm going to do is, unless it pops up in my view right now, I'm going to take a look around, and once I find it, then I will be right back. And it was just over here, just a couple blocks away, which is good. Well, maybe a couple hundred blocks, but pretty close. Thankfully, there's a super convenient island here that we can kind of set up camp on. Super nice. So we're going to basically take a look in here and be ready for our amazing adventure in the Ocean Monument. It's pretty cool because this is like a boss fight, and there's really only a couple of those in the game. So I'm going to take the strength and regeneration potions. I don't think we'll really need them, but if we do, then we have that. I also have these night vision potions and these water breathing potions. You're not really going to need night vision, but for the sake of the video, it just makes things a lot easier to see for you guys. Also, you're going to want dirt, a couple redstone blocks, and a bit of TNT. You don't need this much, but I just have this much because why not? And I may as well just bring the rest of the stuff with me as well, except for the fireworks. Now we're going to get on full armor because we're not going to be invisible. But I'll keep a stack of fireworks in my lighter on me just in case we need that. So basically, here's the approach to defeating the Ocean Monument very, very easily. And what it basically is to get the mining fatigue, because that's going to happen already. And also I'll get the water breathing and night vision for you guys. But anyway, is to basically just get the mining fatigue. It's going to happen anyway. And then once we have it, we're actually going to use TNT to break down the walls to find where the Guardians are, which I thought was a really cool way of doing it. Now, of course, we're going to get hurt here if we don't kind of dodge these laser beams by going around in circles here. That's kind of the trick. I'm surprised we actually haven't had mining fatigue yet, but either way, we'll probably get hurt quite a few times. The trick is to kind of go around angles and stuff, because once the path of their bubble beam there is broken, then they basically cannot hurt you. So, there's our mining fatigue. What we want to do here is basically surround this. Also, if we do end up getting really hurt, we can kind of hide down here, which is nice. So, it's all about being on the move and kind of staying away from these bad guys. So we're going to put our TNT here and put redstone above it. That's basically going to hold it in place. So we're about to die here, actually. Now, that might have worked. It might not have, because the redstone and the TNT were not fully surrounded. So there might have been some error there. And I guess I can't actually pick those up, can I? Oh yeah, so it didn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to go like this, and we're going to go like this. It might still not work because the water could have flowed in. So we'll take another look there. No, that did work. So now we have a hole into the Guardian Temple. And here's our first Elder Guardian. Here we go. Good thing I have good netherite armor. But again, we still have to totally dodge these laser beams. I may as well get this strength potion for our epic boss fight here. And get some nice refill on golden carrots here, avoiding the beams. But it's a fun fight, alright. And we can definitely get this Elder Guardian here. Seems to be a bit scared of me, really. Let's see if we can grab the sponge there. That's the real treasure. And we can grab the blocks that dropped from the explosion. Now there should be 2 more in the temple. The other one is over here. So there's 3 locations you will be wanting to look for them. And again, like I found out just previously, you're going to want to make sure to completely surround this in dirt like this. Now we're going to kind of hide down here. And of course, every Guardian Temple is a little bit different, but they all look pretty similar to each other. And we still have our strength, so should be able to very simply defeat this Elder Guardian. We want to be able to go in circles because those beams really do add up and can be extremely deadly if we're not going in a fast motion. So we can definitely get very hurt from that. It looks like we got actually glitched a bit in the water, which is also a very bad thing. Let's see if we can escape from this. Alright. Perfect. So, we're going to go over here and defeat this. Awesome, there we go. So there's the second one killed. So now we just have one more to do, which is perfect. And oh boy, lagging like crazy. That's not actually lag. What it is there's some glitches still in the game around basically the water and things getting waterlogged. Now we still have to be careful here. So again, we're going to do the same kind of setup. TNT, cover it up, and then cover it up. There we go. That was really close. See if we can hide from this. Maybe ground a wall. Because again, basically how it works is if the Guardians cannot see you, they cannot hurt you. Oh, and look, there's actually the Elder Guardian right there. It almost escaped. Some people actually decide to save their Elder Guardians because they are really rare in a world. And there's the third one done. That was extremely quick. But I don't really prefer that. Now, this is actually quite quick, so you could technically do this even without the water breathing and the night vision or the strength or anything, but I would still suggest it certainly because it is pretty good to get yourself that. Also, it looks like I cannot go to sleep because I placed down my bed and there are monsters nearby, so that was not the best idea. However, I'm going to be smart here. I'm going to use TNT to get my bed back because TNT now drops 100% of the items. And that didn't work at all. That wasn't smart. I think the trick is actually going to be, if I do this, to completely surround this like this. That should work now. Let's take a look at what we got. It did work. And there is our bed. And of course we destroyed the temple a little bit. That's not going to matter much for the farm we're doing. Although we're also actually not going to be doing the full dig out type of farm, which is definitely going to be a bit different. But that won't be till the next episode here once we've basically kind of cleared this out. Now we have killed all the Elder Guardians now, which is perfect. There's a lot more to do before really we've even started to clear out the temple because there's hidden gold in these temples. There's a whole lot of cool stuff. There's of course the sponge rooms, possibly multiple sponge rooms. Likely only one, but could be multiple, which is awesome. Of course, first we can go to bed and see the interesting sunset with the night vision there is actually quite interesting. But anyway, it's always convenient to have an island close by if you don't have one. I would suggest trying to build yourself a little platform to be on, just because it's nice to have an area that's above water and kind of a way to escape from the Elder Guardians if you have to. So we're just going to drop off some of these potions we do not need now. Now, of course, we do still have mining fatigue for about 1 minute, so we can't really do a whole lot until that's gone. But what we can do is we can kind of clear things out and get ready for going back in with the Guardians there. So we're going to probably not really want much more of this. We might actually want the TNT to kind of break through things. But overall, we're looking pretty good here. So I think I'll head right back. But again, when you defeat the Elder Guardians, the normal Guardians still spawn just as much as they normally would. They're not decreased at all, so it's still quite dangerous. That's cool. There's actually this kind of little support area you see on the temples. Sometimes these support areas are extremely large. Just on this one, it's quite small. But either way, Now let's take a look at the treasure rooms we have in here. And it's looking like I'm getting very hurt here because, okay. Yeah, going like a pillar like this, and you completely block out your field of view. And then they can't hurt you. So anyway, there is a hidden gold treasure room here that I think we should go explore. So I'm going to just grab this prismarine here because as of right now it's quite rare to get, although of course very soon here we'll be able to get the prismarine and all kinds of awesome stuff like that. So the gold treasure room, which has I believe 8 gold blocks, or possibly more, but I think it's about 8 gold blocks, is right in the middle. So we're going to want to kind of find the middle, and here it is. So this is what the middle room looks like. It's very, very good. Now, of course, there's tons and tons of guardians still in this, so we want to be very careful. But the mining fatigue has worn off, so we can kind of hide up here. If you dig any of this dark prismarine, which in and of itself I think is a very cool block, we're going to find this core of gold. This is sort of like the hidden treasure of the entire monument, and it is 8 gold blocks like that. Now that equals out to about a stack and 8 ingots, which for early game is really good. Even mid game is pretty good. Now I'm pretty late game here. I have a gold farm, a bunch of different stuff, so this isn't super good, but it's still cool to have some gold from the Guardian Temple itself. Anyway, so that's gotten. But now what other treasures are here? Well, there's actually quite a few. So there's also the sponge rooms. I probably actually shouldn't break through these a lot because it kind of makes things confusing. But basically there are the sponge rooms here. So the sponge rooms tend to be at the very top, or at least near the top, of the sea temple here, or the ocean monument. There's lots of different names for these. But either way, so you want to get kind of high up. And of course, if things ever do get kind of lost, you can always break your way out, but you want to try and find a way that makes you go upwards. Now here, for instance, we've come to a dead end, so I'm going to try to head over here. But I think we can do it, and there really are some cool things in here. I know that there are some sponge rooms, because I don't actually think any Guardian Temple can spawn without one. And as I speak of a sponge room, here's a sponge room. Now we have a really cool diamond hoe, and diamond hoes are actually any type of hoe, is the fastest way of breaking sponges now in 1.16 and above. So if we just hold left click, of course, then we can just break all of these sponges super easily and get ourselves this extremely rare and useful block. So we'll just grab all these, and plus the 3 we got from the Elder Guardians, we now have 31 sponges. So I guess that was 28 in this room. That is super awesome. Now when items float in water, they can get almost stuck in the above block, like that when you can't see. It is still there. So it's always good to make sure you haven't forgotten any sponges on the roof here like that. I actually did forget one. I didn't even notice that. So it's always good to do that, as even losing one sponge, like on something like a multiplayer server, or even just a server that you play a lot on, sponges are worth a lot, probably more than a diamond block, because they're just so useful. Now, of course, we're going to top up on our night vision and our water breathing here, and go around and try and find the possible second sponge room. Now, there's not a second sponge room in every Guardian Temple here, but there often are. In fact, I've actually seen Guardian Temples, and I've done seed videos on Guardian Temples that have up to 4 sponge rooms in them, so there could be a lot, and as I say that, I see a second one. So I guess we'll break the sponge in this one too, all super quick, grab all that. And again, we can make sure we don't forget any. Like here, you'd think, oh, there isn't anything in that corner when it's up like this, but if you look for a bit longer, there is definitely something there. So sometimes I'll even just kind of comb all the sides like this, so I don't forget any of the sponges, because they're cool, and I don't want to lose out on any of those. And they can be useful for drying out the monument if you are doing that type of farm, but the tutorial I'll have on the farm in the next episode is not that type. So we're almost lost in this area, although we did find 2 of the sponge rooms already. Let's try and go a way we haven't gone already. Now this seems like a dead end. The cool thing is that we can always put the area back behind us. Now earlier I said it's never really good to break holes in the walls, and the reason why is because when you break holes in the walls, it basically makes it so that there's kind of more ways to get around than there usually would be, and I found that often will make it kind of hard for me to know exactly where or not I can and cannot go, and I'll kind of get a bit lost. But of course, it's totally up to preference. Speaking of that, I think we're getting an amazing ocean song going on, which I love. There's some cool open areas like this too. I mean, you could always convert this into a base. The problem with something like that is that, of course, it'll still spawn the guardians. But if you are in peaceful mode, that could be perfect. So anyway, heading up here. So now we're at the outside of the monument again. Now if we go into the actual entrance, I think we're working about on this side. So if we go onto this side over here, like maybe up through here, yeah, something like this. This could be a very probable place for a 3rd sponge room. Now there may not be a 3rd sponge room, but likely there is a chance there is. I've seen monuments up to 4. I've seen a lot of 3 ones, so we could definitely find that. And overall, we can just do some peaceful exploration of the temple. Now, I haven't actually killed the guardian yet. Why not do that? So I think I'll go over here, find a pesky guardian that's trying to bubbles at me there, and I think we'll get it. So let's head over here, and here's our first guardian. Now, something interesting about guardians is that when you hit them, let me just escape here from that bubble beam for a second, it'll actually give you the thorns effect, or it can. See, I see I got hurt there? That wasn't the bubble beam, that was the thorns effect on the guardians. So it doesn't always apply, but sometimes when hitting them you will get the thorns effect. So it's always good to be careful when fighting guardians just kind of as is. Not inside, of course, a set out farm. But yeah, it's just pretty cool kind of stuff. And they're pretty nice creatures overall, and really, they do kind of blend in a bit. It's like there I got 2 thorns effects. They don't really drop anything interesting until you have the farm. But you can use the crystals and shards they drop to, of course, craft all the different types of prismarine, including the lanterns, which is what most people build the farm for. But yeah, overall, it's just pretty cool. One other interesting thing as we observe this temple is that if you notice the prismarine here, just the plain old prismarine, actually changes color a bit. So throughout the video it's kind of changed different colors, and so like right now it's kind of more bluish, but it can change to kind of greenish, kind of changing that way now. It'll change red sometimes, not super red, but just a bit red. And really just some beautiful undertones to that. And overall, I'm really excited because once we have this farm, we can really enjoy all the beautiful building opportunities of Prismarine and also of the conduit, because that's what Prismarine needs. So now we've explored the temple over here, but there's one more thing before the video ends, and that's that just over here there's actually an underwater geode. And now underwater geode, you may be saying, yeah, that's true, geodes can actually spawn underwater. It's actually crazy because now in 1.17, geodes have an equal chance of spawning, kind of poking out of the surface of underwater here as they have anywhere else. So you can see here, here's one geode. Now of course we have night vision, so this appears quite bright. But this is not a rare case, because here's the one geode, and just over here, now it's a bit hard to see, of course, because of the way water works in Minecraft, but if we get above the ground here, you'll see over here, what's this? Well, it looks to me as a part of another geode, which is super cool, and yes, it is. Come over here, you can see there's a second geode here. This actually wasn't planned at all, but it's crazy that they're actually this common. You can find these everywhere. Now, of course, here's a very, very small, kind of tiny geode, but it's super awesome to have something like this just next to the water, and really completely open to it with even kind of some glitched water because it's not spilling right in. Now, of course, that small geode there isn't incredibly interesting, but this over here is a extremely large geode, and being so close to our guardian temple here, it would be a really good place to actually set up a amethyst farm, because when we're AFKing here, these chunks will be loaded as well, meaning that we can have amethyst growing here. Now we're not going to spend too long working on this, but something we can do is we can try and expose a bit more around each one of these amethyst buds. That's something I would actually suggest people to do when building a guardian farm, or even just when preparing an area that they're going to be around a lot, is to optimize all of your amethyst geodes, at least all the ones you can find. Because then you can get yourself all the amethyst clusters growing on every single side quite easily. I still do that a bit, but it's cool too, because by optimizing it, that is, having as many sides of each cluster facing air as possible, you're also getting yourself lots and lots of blocks of amethysts. And we can always break the completed, let's see what they're called here again, amethyst shards, but these ones are called, let's see if we can get the name here. The amethyst clusters. We can get all the amethyst clusters that are completely full broken off here, and then we can have new ones grow in their place, because basically when an amethyst cluster is fully grown on there, it of course acts as if there's something like a different block there, not air, because then of course it can't grow in. And crazy enough, we're still getting the guardian beams there even underwater here, underground here in the geode that is also underwater. There's a lot of different things we're in, but what's cool about that is that it's actually that close, which means that this would absolutely be loaded when we're doing a AFK at the guardian farm. And of course, with all this thing exposed, we could expect to come down here and get several hundred crystals every single time, which I think is a super awesome thing. So we're going to break all this and optimize this just a tad bit more, because why not? Just let it all look completely optimized like this. Now, of course, we're not going to do the whole thing. This is one of the biggest geode types there are. But everything helps. And we can get a bit of this too. Maybe use it to decorate some of the farm later on when we're building it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode of us exploring the Guardian Temple, and also of this amazing underwater amethyst geode, which is not rare but should be, make sure to press the like button. Make sure to subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video, and make sure to share it with your friends. Have a great day. Goodbye.